Alright everybody, this is going to be the last Pokemon Black run of the week. Sad, but next week we're going to be doing Pokemon Sapphire, so we'll be returning to the Hoenn region. But yeah, since we did Seismitoad as a video for Sunday, we are going to do what I believe to be its counterpart, Conkeldurr. I was actually torn if this was called Conkeldurr or Conkeldurr, but it's spelled C-O-N-K-E-L, which is Conkel. And if it was L-E, then it'd be Conkel. So yeah, it's definitely Conkeldurr. So I've been saying it right this whole time. Also, I re-cropped my camera because I noticed before it looked like I was really small. But hopefully that's better. But anyway, Conkeldurr. This thing is basically a better Machamp. It's roughly equivalent to Machamp. Very high attack. Our speed, though, is not the best. I think Machamp had probably passable speed. I don't remember what its speed stat was, but now I'm kind of wanting to look it up. Because we have 45 base speed. Machamp has 55. Okay, so yeah, Machamp is actually faster, but we do have some bright sides. We also have Guts, just like Machamp. Sadly, we don't get No Guard. Machamp gets that as one of its regular abilities, but Conkeldurr does not. Kind of a shame, though. I would really like to use Dynamic Punch with No Guard. That'd be fun. It'd be fun to do a Machamp No Guard run at some point. But, anyway, this thing gets a lot of fighting and rock moves, although as you can see on our level up set, the top third is all normal type moves, and then it alternates between fighting and rock. And our TM coverage is pretty good. We get some rock moves, some ground moves, some fighting moves, some rock moves, but we're not going to need most of them. In fact, see, we got low kick at level 12. You may think we'll eventually upgrade into Wake Up Slap and eventually, like, Brick Break. We're actually not going to be upgrading. We're actually going to hold on to low kick the entire game, because low kick, when we combine it with Brick Break, it'll be enough for any threat in the game. And we will be getting some other coverage, like, for example, we'll get Rock Slide to deal with all the flying types, and we'll also have access to Payback. Remember yesterday with Delcatty, I ended up getting the TM for Payback. We're actually going to be getting the TM for Payback again. It's going to be the best way for a physical attacker to attack ghost types. Kind of like how in... what's a good equivalent? Kind of like in Generation 3, a lot of fighting types in Emerald version want Hidden Power Ghost for Tate and Liza. Sort of a similar reason in this game for ghost types. If you're able to learn Fling or Payback, teach it those moves. I mean, Fling, sadly, is a one-time move, but the point still stands. But anyway, I think this run's going to do really good. And when I was making my over-under, I was trying to decide who to compare this to. Because the only fighting types I've done on my leaderboard, as you can see right here, are the Swords of Justice. The highest ranked one is 8th place overall, and Keldeo is 9th, Cobalion is 11th, Virizion is 12th. Terrakion is the best one by far, but I mean, this could get a better time for sure, because Terrakion is an absolute beast. But the problem with Terrakion, it's in the slow level up group, and the rock typing honestly doesn't really help it. It gives us a weakness to ground moves, it gives us a weakness to water moves, it gives us a it gives us a weakness to grass moves. This thing had a lot of bad weaknesses to deal with. The rock type really did not help it. But pure fighting, on the other hand, we're not going to have those weaknesses to grass, water, or ground. And there is I sort of like to call Berg a grass specialist because his Ace Levani has Razor Leaf, and it is part grass, so he's honestly what I consider to be the grass-type gym leader. Even if I played against Silent, none of the first gym leaders are really any good. So I decided to make my over-under 118 to 122 because in the end, I do expect this to be better. I mean, look at Mew. Mew got a 116, and it had to deal with Mega Punch for the first 3 gyms, which was annoying. Yeah, I think this will end up being better. And Axukairi actually did route this run for me, because he routed the runs for Seismitoad and Conkeldurr, or Conkeldurr. I'm going to keep mixing those two. Yeah, I basically read through these during the starting soon, which is why I started a little bit late. But yeah, this run's going to be really good. In fact, our final moveset going into the league is going to be Low Kick, Rock Slide, Bulk Up, and Return. We get Bulk Up at level 29 and Rock Slide at 33. So it's definitely going to be nice, but Here is one problem with Cofagrigus. We have a very bad speed stat. That is why we're running a Jolly Nature. And our hidden ability, or our ability is Guts. It is not the hidden ability. Our hidden ability is Iron Fist, which makes punching moves do more damage, but I think this thing's only punching moves are like Dynamic Punch, Focus Punch. I don't know if Hammer Arm counts as a punching move. It probably doesn't. But this thing doesn't really get most other punches, so it's honestly not that useful. I mean, Guts will come in handy a few times, but it doesn't count? Darn. Oh, fun fact, Meteor Mash actually counts as a punching move, but no Meteor Mash Pokemon can get Iron Fist. Kind of funny. Yeah, Sheer Force isn't the best either. Sheer Force was good on Nidoking because the problem was the reason Nidoking needed Sheer Force in my run is because Nidoking doesn't have a setup move. Like, it needs the extra raw damage because its stats aren't the best. In Gen 1, it's an absolute beast, but it really started to go down and to the right. It started to go down real bad. But yeah, this thing doesn't need Sheer Force either. Anyway, so basically one of the main problems with this thing, like I said, is the low speed. And in fact, we got to make sure for Chantal, we need to make sure we're faster than the Chandelure, as well as Caitlin's Sigilyph, because if we do not outspeed those, we're going to get a lot of problems. I mean, the Sigilyph especially. Because the plan is to use some bulk ups and sweep. And we're going to make sure we get the Shell Bell for N as well. Yeah, definitely in the league, we're going to need to cycle between some different items. Alright, well, that's enough chit-chatting. Let me just get my out of my bag here. Alright. Alright, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, basically, this Pokemon's going to do really good, I think. I mean, I did do Conkeldurr in a backport of Pokemon Emerald. It did very good, but the problem is, the slow base speed really screwed it up at Steven. I'm still not really proud of that run, but it's honestly been kind of nice to take a break from those Gen 3 backports, especially like when doing them by myself. But here's the bright side for all you people who still like backports. Starting tomorrow, we're bringing back the backports with Steve M Plays and Ike the Killer. In fact, we kind of have enough blue backports already. We've done like over 85 of them. I'm not even kidding. And since Scott quit doing the crystal ones with us in January because he wants more time to spend with his wife, at least that was the reason he gave me. We haven't really had anyone to crystal with, but Ike has actually learned the basics of crystal. So yeah, every Saturday we're going to be doing Pokemon Crystal. That means the return of backported moves. The crystal runs were honestly my favorite because of that fact. Plus, it's not as like linear as Red and Blue. Because like in Red and Blue for the backports, all that really matters is, does it learn Thunderbolt, or does it learn Ice Beam, or does it learn Earthquake? Like, that's basically all that matters. But in Crystal, like, depending on the moves you backport, there's a lot of different solutions you could do. Plus, what I like about it is, since most of the Pokemon we backport end up getting one setup move, like maybe Bulk Up, Hone Claws, Nasty Plot, you don't have to use Curse Strats on Red. It feels really refreshing. Oh, you're also helping with Ike in Gen 2? Yeah, he mentioned he practiced for 15 minutes for the first Dark Room in Mount Silver, and he actually got a Repel counter. I think he's using Scott's Overlay, which I think has a Repel counter. He was actually able to use that to know when he's bumping into walls. That is actually what Steve uses. I don't need to do that, though, because I've kind of had to learn to do it without the Repel counter. And besides, I used to speedrun Pokemon Gold when I was a teenager. And my personal best wasn't really any good, but I did have to learn to do it. Oh yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but I never realized Axio until I made the moveset. Just, its top half of moves is all normal, and then at the bottom it alternates between fighting and rock. It's kind of hilarious. Moveset kind of reminds me of Terrakion in a way. But yeah, in the end though, I decided that I think this thing is going to be better than Terrakion, because Terrakion's rock typing was actually kind of bad. It gave it a lot of weaknesses. At least in this run, we're only going to be weak to flying and psychic. And Skyla, she's normally the lost pilot, but in this run, she actually will be kind of difficult. Like, not difficult like facing Blaine with a grass type in red and blue, but difficult as in she might cause problems. Caitlyn, though, will definitely be scary for sure. In fact, Caitlyn is the whole reason we're running a plus speed nature. Because otherwise things are not going to go good. Because remember, our special attack isn't that good either. Let's see. Chili. Nothing to go through. Pound dunks on everything in sight. Keep low kick for the rest of the game. Teach workup afterwards. Yeah, I will say, if this was Black 2 and White 2, Black 2, White 2 challenge mode, this Pokemon would honestly do a lot worse, because in Black 2 and White 2, Skyla is absolutely terrifying. Like, you know the meme of, like, in Red and Blue, Blaine is an absolute piece of garbage, but in Yellow, he's one of the best gym leaders in the game? It's sort of... Skyla is like this game's Blaine. In Black and White, her team was absolutely horrible. I mean, she wasn't using turn 1 super potions, but still. Oh. Get rid of, Lear. But, the trick is, basically, she just got a better team. I mean, she still has the Unpheasant, the Swanna, and the Swoobat. But this time, though, she leads with the Swoobat instead of the Unpheasant. And the thing likes to use acrobatics right away. Plus, she has Skarmory, which really, really screws over a lot of Pokemon. Plus, if you're in challenge mode, she has a Sigilyph. But honestly, the Sigilyph isn't that bad. But basically, she got an absolute upgrade. Plus, they may have changed her AI a bit. I'm not sure. Can't really prove it, though. I have no idea if I should be using low kick or pound on some fights. I don't know. Yeah, but I will say, in Black 2 and White 2, if you were to ask me the difficulty of all the gym leaders, I honestly view Charon a similar difficulty to Silent, Chili, or Cress, because they both give the same TM, right? They both give workup, and they both have Lillipup on their team, and their aces aren't really the best. Like, Charon has the ace Lillipup, and he has a Patrat. I mean, in challenge mode, he's got a PETA, but it's really not that bad. Why am I saving? Oh well. But yeah, basically, Charon's not really that bad. Roxy's only difficult, I'd say, if you're weak to poison. Like, if you're weak to poison, like, if you're playing a grass type, you're really in trouble. But in, well, in Castelia for Berg is actually a lot harder. One reason is Lavani, it's either a higher level or it has a plus speed nature, because its speed stat goes from 45 to 56, I believe. Like, its speed stat really goes up. Plus, the Lavani has Grass Whistle instead of String Shot, which is really bad. And the Dwebble, actually, instead of having Shell Armor, it actually has Sturdy. So you can never knock it out in one hit. Plus, it has Rock Polish as well. It'll just Rock Polish, Rock Blast. It's really scary. I mean, the Shelmet and the Carablast aren't really that scary, but it's the Dwebble and the Lavani that are bad. Elisa... Honestly, Elisa's kind of the same. Well, instead of having 2 Emolga, she has 1 Emolga and a Flaffy. The Flaffy's only bad because it's static, so it's really no different than an Emolga. What else? Yeah, the Zubstrika is way faster. I'm pretty sure in Black 2, White 2, that Zubstrika has 90 speed. It's really fast. Clay? I think Clay is honestly the same difficult. Although, he does have Sand Slash, which is a bit annoying. But in Challenge Mode, he does have the normal gem Sturdy Explosion Onyx. Which isn't... It can't really pack a punch, but it can still hurt with Explosion. Skyla, like I've mentioned before, is a huge upgrade. Instead of the Lost Actor, he decided to retire and become an actual actor. Drayden is definitely way harder because he has Druddigan, Flygon, and Haxorus instead of having a Fracture on his team, which is definitely an upgrade. And honestly, Marlin, I'd say, is one of the worst gym leaders in the game. Hey, Dominic. How's the run going? It's going pretty good. Alright, we're going to minimum battles to Lenora. Lenora is not going to be hard at all. Marlin can cause problems for anyone weak to water getting burned by Scald. That is true. I mean, he can be difficult sometimes. I mean, that doesn't mean he's good. Like, I kind of view him as, like, red and blue Koga. Like, he's easy half the time, but if you're weak to his typing, he can be a little difficult. But Marlin isn't really often this ultimate run killer. I mean, one of the main exceptions was definitely Charizard, because of that Caracosta with Sturdy having Stone Edge. But then again, Charizard struggles against anything with Rock moves. Like, for example, in X and Y, there is a single trainer in Victory Road near the end. It's one of those veteran trainers. There's a veteran trainer with a Gigalith on his team. Even at level 100, Charizard cannot survive Stone Edge. And it's a 2-shot, so basically Charizard had to keep resetting until you get a Stone Edge miss. That's effectively what Charizard has to do in the Unova games, just because the abundance of rock users. Plus Sturdy. Oh yeah, that Gigalith had Sturdy as well. Which is a better move, Dynamic Punch or Hammer Arm? Hammer Arm. Here's the thing, like, how can Dynamic Punch be a better move if half the time it misses? I mean, Hammer Arm lowers your speed, I think, but honestly, it's a kind of a good trade-off for a 90 accurate move. Oh, really? There we go. Yeah, it is painful when you forget to save, John. I know the feeling. Holy cow, where are the encounters? Alright, Woobat, I'm just going to use the Dusk Ball on this right away. Alright, one more. I would prefer it to be Roggenrola. Darn. The reason I prefer it to be Roggenrola is because Roggenrola has Sturdy, which means I can never one-shot it, and it makes it perfect for catching things. I did it. Yeah, I read that message already. I tried to read your message twice. Wait, what? Oh, right, I forgot to use the repel. Oops. Here's the trick. Wait for this person to go up. Boom. Alright, deposit the HM users. Dang, I have 3 Woobats today. Okay, I better heal up first. I'm kind of low on health. Alright, I'm going to save here because N's, who knows, N's P-Dove might do a lot with Gust. One thing I really don't like about the Gen 4 and Gen 5 games, it's a lot worse in Gen 4, how long it takes to save. Like, it always feels like trying to save is a huge time commitment and you're losing so much time. But at the same time, if you don't save and you end up getting a reset, you just lost even more time. Like, I don't really know what to do about that. But in Gen 1 and Gen 2, the time it takes to save really isn't that meaningful. Gen 3 as well. Gen 6, though, saving is super, super quick. Like in the newer games especially, saving is so much quicker. Like in X and Y, I can sort of get away with saving before most trainers because it's like maybe a 2-second time commitment to save. Sapphire Randos is going to be fun, especially with Watson Gate. Oh boy, Watson Gate. What did he do? Did he, I don't know, what did he do? Did he, I don't know, send spies to infiltrate New Mauville? Try to get information on the whereabouts of Thunderbolt? I don't know, I'm just making shit up. But yeah, I'm excited for the random Sapphire runs. I do wonder how they're going to do. Oh, but here's another thing about the Sapphire randos. Not randomizers, but the random Pokemon. The random Sapphire runs. Here's another thing. The tutor for Substitute doesn't exist. So no matter who we play, unless we have a way to one-shot BB's Dusclops, we have to luck past it. There's literally nothing we can do. But there is one alternative. If you do the Trick House, like, what is it actually? If you do the Trick House, like, 5 times or something, you get the TM for Taunt. You could use the TM for Taunt to prevent it from using Curse or Confuse Ray. The problem is, it's a huge time investment, but I think for Pokemon that have to, like, 4-hit it or something, it might actually be worth getting. But it's an idea. You never know. Alright, 1 work up to cancel out the Leer. Low kick. Alright, she's going to heal, so I'll get in a free workup. Alright, wake up slap. Going to delete pound for that. Fighting in rock is actually neutral coverage against almost everything. I mean, we're still going to get a normal move. For example, we learned Chip Away at level 24. Just a 70 power move. It's sort of like Secret Power, except instead of chances to cause paralysis or flinches, all it does is it ignores the opponent's, like, defense increases. And that'll basically carry us until we get return. Alright, we're not gonna need Rock Smash. I am not falling for that nurse again. I really wanted to fight her to heal, but here's the thing. I'm a fighting type. We all know what happens when you try to fight her with a fighting type. She'll be like, oh, you want healed? Sure, I'll heal you by killing you and sending you to the center. And I'm like, hey, you killed me. And then she's like, what? You're healed, aren't you? Not falling for that again. I think from now on, if I use a fighting type or poison type, I am not fighting her. Also, I will say this trainer with Pansage is actually one of the more annoying trainers in the forest because if you can't one-shot the Pansage and it uses Leech Seed, things can get kind of suspicious. Alright, Berg. Grab Quick Claw at the gate before Skyro Bridge. We're going to be using this item a lot. Each Chip Away in the place of Wake Up Slap. If you're level 25, a +1 Rock Throw will one-shot Whirlipede and Dwebble. If you have Guts active, +1 does guarantee the Levani, otherwise +2. So basically, we're going to set up one workup on the Whirlipede, but if Poison Tail poisons us, we can just sweep right away. Oh, fun fact, if we ever use a Guts user in White 2, this doesn't really apply with Black 2, because it's kind of worse for this strat that I'm about to mention. Where's the Quick Claw guy? This guy. In White 2 version, it's one of those business girl type of people, the one I just talked to, that gives you it. But anyway, in White 2, in Reversal Mountain, in the basement, you can actually get a Flame Orb. And I think it was starting Gen 5, where I think Guts ignores the attack drop from Burn, and it'll give you that boost anyway. But I think in the older games, like, the attack drop and Guts kind of like cancel each other out, so it's not as good. You can use that like with You could use it with Conkeldurr to just guarantee Guts for a lot of fights. But the reason I say this strat does not work for Black 2 is because Reversal Mountain is very different between the two games. In Black 2, it's actually a Toxic Orb instead, which you could use, but the problem is you'll be toxic for every single fight. And we all know how good Toxic is. Like, after 5 turns, you're essentially dead. It's not that good. Also, everyone, I just wanna say I appreciate all you guys for subscribing or watching the streams or liking the videos, because I actually recently just hit 2250 subscribers. 2250. You may wonder what's the big deal about that number. Technically, our last subscriber special was at 2,000. Now we're actually a quarter of the way there to 3,000. The next milestone will be 2,500. And we hit 2,000 subs January 16th, I think it was. I remember I looked at my statistics. So, yeah, thank you all, everybody. Oh my gosh, Rock Throw is really annoying. But on the bright side, it looks like we'll get Chip Away for this gym. Yeah, it does not look like we're going to be level 25. So I think even if we get hit with a poison off of Poison Tail, we're probably going to need +2 setup either way. Actually, I wonder, should we just get +3? I will say, though, over the last week, I've definitely had a lot of fun doing Black version, but in terms of doing Generation 5, I still much prefer Black 2 and White 2, just because I feel like there's a lot more variety with the game, plus you're not bombarded in the front half by Team Plasma Grunts. Oh yeah, replace Wake Up Slap with Chip Away. Oh my god, that was a lot of experience. In White 2, most of the Team Plasma fights are saved for the middle of the game or near the end. Plus, I feel like the gauntlets aren't as big in that game. It's mainly divided into like the Frygate and Driftville, which really isn't that bad. Just a bunch of plasma fights back to back. Yeah, I'm not gonna need a Tractor Rest. I can skip those. Plus, I just like the variety that the gym leaders have on their teams. I mean, challenge mode does help that too. Plus, a lot of the gym leaders in Black and White 1 are just really bad. Like, their teams were not good. I'm looking at you, Bryson. Honestly, Drayden's not any better. Like, I hate how the final gym, his ace is like level 44. Like, that's way too freaking low. I mean, yeah, challenge mode boosts levels, but even without that, like, I think in vanilla, I think Marlin's ace is level 50. I think it's 50. I mean, the Elite Four and Champion are slightly higher levels in vanilla. But I just like the variety of the teams, plus some of the gym leaders are more challenging. Oh, and here's another thing, like, the amount of TMs and stuff you get are... You get a way bigger array of TMs that you can pick up before certain gyms. Plus, there's all the Pokemon breeders. The fact that Pokemon breeders are rematchable makes very easy EV grinding. Plus, if you struggle really bad with a certain gym leader, like Elisa, just fight a Pokemon breeder, shit. Dalton? No, not Dalton. Fuck. Galvin. Galvin, yeah. Breeder Galvin. And the move tutors, yeah. The move tutors add a lot of variety, too. Plus, I have more nostalgia for Black 2 and White 2, because I did play Pokemon White first. Am I gonna die? No, I'm not. I'm gonna barely live. Well then. I don't remember if I saved or not, so I'm just gonna take the blackout. Keep the experience. It just feels like in Black 2 and White 2, there's just a lot more you can do. Plus, there's more major fights, too. Like, I think Getsis is generally harder, but then again, Getsis is kind of trivial if you have Substitute, but here's one good thing. Substitute in Black 2, White 2 is in the post-game, because it's still in Twist Mountain. So, you can't just rely on Substitute. You kind of have to use Pecha Berries, but Charon is kind enough to give you Pecha Berries in that game. Black and White 1 is easy mode unless you struggle a lot in the final fights. That's essentially what this game is. Like, you either struggle... Oh, hold on. You either struggle at Lenora, maybe Berg, or Enengetsis. I mean, depending on the Pokemon, there will be one other gym leader. But in White 2, like, whether you do challenge mode or not, all the gym leaders are difficult in some way. Oh yeah, that's Elisa. Plus, here's another thing, like, I've never been a fan of how linear Black and White 1 is. Like, there's almost no backtracking, and the first mandatory use of Fly isn't until after you beat the 7th gym, which is kind of insane. I mean, in Emerald version, I mean, yeah, you get Fly after the 6th badge, but you still have to do some backtracking. I like backtracking in Pokemon games. Black and White 1 did not really handle backtracking that well. Like, going, like, to the league is literally just a straight line. But Black 2, White 2, does offer backtracking. Plus, the path is a little more different. But I mean, I did say I want to be the kind of guy to do solo runs of most Pokemon, of all Pokemon games. So I find ways to enjoy this game too. I mean, Black and White 1 have stuff that I enjoy that Black 2 and White 2 doesn't offer. Gotta remember return. Better get my HM users. Like, what's one thing that this game offers that Black 2 White 2 doesn't? Hmm. I'm really trying to think here. I'm not just playing dumb, but I'm just trying to think what this game offers in terms of solo runs. Fighting against N, for example, because it's not often in Pokemon games you have to fight somebody with a legendary Pokemon. I mean, when we were doing the Black and White random solo run streams, when we were doing those, basically half of that planning session was just about N Zekrom. Like, the fact you have to face a legendary makes it really interesting. I mean, in Omega Ruby, I have to face Primal Groudon. And the funny thing is, you can't really use a damage calculator for that because Groudon's a wild Pokemon. I mean, Black 2, White 2, you have to defeat Kyurem, but Kyurem really isn't that bad. You can always count on him using stupid moves. Like, for example, in Omega Ruby, the Groudon has Precipitate Blades, Earthquake, Lava Plume, and Rest. You can basically just hope that it just uses Rest after you damage it. Dude, every time. But, the Black Kyurem slash White... I'll talk about White Kyurem. I'm not sure about Black Kyurem, but White Kyurem definitely has some bad moves as well. It has a move called Ice Burn, which is a 2-turn move. And it does have Slash and Dragon Breath, which aren't really that good of moves. So you can just hope it uses, like, Slash, and then, like, the 2-turn Ice Burn, and you can defeat it in 3 turns. But I will say, if I played Alpha Sapphire instead, Primal Kyogre would honestly be close to impossible for a lot of Pokemon. Like, you would basically have to hope it spams Aqua Ring. Then again, I'm sure if I did runs in it in the future, which I don't plan to, I'm sure I'll end up finding a way around it. But then again, the fact that Groudon has Rest kind of nerfs, it kind of makes it a little more doable. Because it still will have a 3 in 4 chance of hitting you. It's not like half of its moves are bad, just one of them is bad. If it rests turn 1, that's not going to do anything. You want to hope he rests when you damage it so that way you can defeat it easier. Why Guts? The other abilities weren't that useful. Dang, Static at the last minute. How did Delcatty go? It was actually pretty good. Also, we are paralyzed, but I am going to heal it right away. We don't really need Guts for random trainer fights. Primal Groudon Resting plus Capture Power in Omega Ruby is busted and you have a higher chance catching it. I will admit, though, if I was playing Alpha Sapphire, instead of defeating the Groudon, I would probably just catch it with the Master Ball. And I would just have to catch Rayquaza with an Ultra Ball or something. That is probably what I would do. I'm not going to make the runs that much harder. The only reason I mandated, like, you have to beat Primal Groudon is because it does have that chance of using Rest. So that means for a lot of Pokemon, it actually can be feasible to defeat it. But if I was doing Kyogre, I would not mandate to defeat it, because all of its moves will kill you. Its only bad move is Aqua Ring, which can heal it. Aw, what do you mean Pampor can't learn Strength? Yeah, at least it has a catch rate of 45, so it wouldn't be too bad. Darn it. I only mandate the whole, like, defeat Groudon thing, so that way I can save the Master Ball for Rayquaza. Alright, payback. We don't need payback right away. Outside of Walkering, even Body Slam is bad, because that makes Primal Kyogre go first and destroy. That is true. Honestly, it would basically just depend upon, like, if I had a move to, like, put the Kyogre to sleep or something. But yeah, just Kyogre is just far too powerful. I mean, you've all seen it in solo runs. That thing can honestly... If Kyogre was backported to Gen 1 with its full moveset, it would actually destroy Mewtwo. I'm not even kidding. It's that good. It's that powerful. Alright, I did get hit with Torment, but honestly, it's not a big deal. Are you kidding? I actually got the Quick Claw, but he detected. Uh-oh. He's coming. Everybody hide. Alright, so what's the plan for Clay? Grab Protein for the extra attack, EVs, and Friendship. Low kick the Crocorock and Excadrill. Return Palpitoad, less damage with low kick. If he gets Swaggart, that's fine. Now, I've apparently saw a video online. There's this guy who made a hack of Black 2 and White 2 where you can adjust the camera. And apparently in Black 2, White 2, if you adjust the camera on this bridge, for some reason, on the outer edge of the map, there exists a bunch of Pokemon centers. Like, I'm assuming it is real, but I don't know why they're there. Oh, almost forgot the repels. Oops. I just wanted the protein. Yeah, I need to redo Machamp in Gen 5. What happened with your old Machamp run? Is it just old, or did you play bad? Did you use No Guard? Pretty old. First fighting type I did. Oh. And also, I did say with the older games, since the older games were a lot faster, like Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, Crystal, Red, Blue, and Yellow, with Sapphire Week for the random streams, I will do 2 playthroughs unless the Pokemon is very bad. Basically, if I roll Love Disc, I'm only doing 1 playthrough. But if I roll, like... What's an example? Like, if I rolled... Altaria, I would do 2 runs. Basically, I'm not doing 2 runs with very bad Pokemon. Kind of like with Leaf Green last week, I think. Yeah, it was last week. Like with Leaf Green, I did do 2 playthroughs of Wishcash, but only 1 playthrough of Swablu and 1 playthrough of Rhyhorn. Or hard struggles with Watson. Even then, like, if Watson's the only bad part, I'd say it's still good. Because there were plenty of Emerald backports I did with bad Watsons. But yeah, the videos for next week, or video for next week, I decided the main two the main two runs I'm going to do are actually fire types. I decided, you know what, in a region with too much water, we should do fire types. But yeah, for Sunday, the video is going to be Torkoal, and then for the Friday live stream, we'll be doing Camerupt as well. And I do have some experience with Camerupt because I did play it in Emerald for a bit. Okay, I did not expect Clay to be that easy. Clay's bad if you're a fighting type. You mean he's good if you're a... Or, I get what you mean, though. Oh, I meant to save. And now Skyla, her real name. Actually, no. The lost pilot is actually, flying planes. She finally found out where the airport is. So, her replacement, Skyla, is there. She's actually going to be bad. Normally, it's the lost pilot, but she's out today. Kind of like in Gen 1, most of the time, the hiker likes to hang out in the league, but if security eventually kicks him out, sometimes Bruno replaces him. I don't know when this just became a running joke with Scott and, like, the hiker or something like that. We pretty much adopted that joke. Now we have lost other things. Will is the lost juggler. I still sort of disagree with that, because I have had plenty of times where he was difficult, but I would honestly... I agree with that if it's in Crystal. Because in Crystal, Will generally isn't really that hard, but the reason I still don't know is because I've had a lot of runs where the Xatu wasn't a one-shot and I get hit with Confuse Ray. He's more annoying than hard. But yeah, we pretty much adopted, like in Sinnoh, there's the Lost Miner because of how bad he is. There's I mean, Black and White has 2 lost people. White 2 doesn't... I don't think White 2 has any lost people. I don't really think X and Y does either. I swore I used her L. Darn it. You know what's weird, though? How come... Wait, we all know Price is really bad in Gen 2. Why doesn't he have a nickname? I mean, and again, with Surge, we don't call him, like... We don't call him the Lost Electrician. We call him the Assistant Gift Shop Manager. Or the assistant to the janitor of the gift shop. That's one of the few J-Rose puns that I actually liked. And I pretty much adopted it. Sometimes I just make up random titles for him. We gotta do something for Price. Like, the fact that that Bryson's called the Lost Actor, but Price is just called Price. I think that just means, like, on average, Price tends to be harder, but at the same time, he's a very bad gym leader. Bryson. Bryson. I don't know. I don't know, it doesn't really fit. I was thinking like the Lost Elder. I was thinking the Lost Elder. Because, you know, he's old. Like, he has dementia. Maybe he just wandered his way into the gym. Maybe the actual gym leader's out of town. He's like, oh, am I the gym leader? Okay, then. The Lost Veteran. Is he known to be a veteran? I know Surge claims he fought in the war. I don't know, I kind of like Lost Elder. I don't know, though. I don't know if Price deserves a name, honestly. I don't know, it's debatable. I feel like it has to come naturally. We'll think of one at some point. The Lost American. I don't know, I feel like it's a bit too late. Like, the assistant gift shop manager has kind of stuck. You know, I don't mind using other people's puns, because if I do some sort of pun that I didn't originally start, I'll say who I got inspired from with that pun. But I know there's one other Pokemon Challenge Solo Run YouTuber. He really does not like it when you reference other people's inside jokes in his streams. He will actually, I think he might actually threaten to ban you if you, like, try to go into his chat and say, hey, is Venomoth the ghost fighting type? He also doesn't really like it when you try to offer suggestions. Like, one time I went to his stream, he was playing Lugia, and then I said, hey, you should teach Gust over Aeroblast. I said it as a joke, and then he told me to not to backseat game. And then I'm like, I just said it as a joke. And he's like, well, it may not have been a joke, because that's an actual strat. Like, he just expects you to just watch the streams and not help in any way. I actually like it when people in my own stream help me plan runs. It feels like it helps people stay engaged. Scary face? Absolutely not. Oh, what speed should we be looking for? Axew? What's my speed stat? 67. What speed should I go into Skyla at? Actually, it says here the Unpheasant has 70 speed. So maybe I should fight a few trainers, but I'm gonna save first because I don't remember what some of these guys have. Yeah, I want to at least outspeed the first Pokemon. It is a good thing I have Rock Slide. I kind of wonder if these guys still spin if you beat them. They do. Not that guy, though. Well, I only outspeed Unpheasant. That's her slowest. Alright, I'm not gonna... Actually, there is one more person I want to fight. The Ace Trainer here has a Stoutland. Remember, this was the guy in the... I think it was the Poliwhirl run. Remember, I got a blackout to this guy recently because he froze me with Ice Fang? Which was kind of insane. That was Crobat? Oh. It did happen this week. I remember that. Alright. I'm gonna go around and get some candies. I like to go around and fly for some rare candies, usually as soon as I get fly. Because it just... Dude, I do this every time. It just feels appropriate. I do not want Pinwheel Forest candy. I'm gonna skip that. What am I gonna do? Quick Claw and Aerodactyl or Lucky Egg and bank on bad AI choices? Quick Claw. I can gain experience elsewhere. You beat her damageless. I'm gonna go Quick Claw. Wait, no. Fly. What am I doing? One thing I do like about Black and White, though, over Black 2 and White 2 is Black and White 1 are generally a lot quicker to beat. Like, it's a shorter game. Like, compared to the other DS-era games that I play, Black and White 1 is definitely the quickest. And I think the second quickest... I'm not kidding, it's probably Black 2 and White 2. Diamond and Pearl and Platinum are not quick games to play, because those games have an absurd amount of backtracking. Plus, Diamond and Pearl runs super slow in battle. Platinum kind of runs slow in the overworld. Like, people talk about that only Diamond and Pearl ran slow. Honestly, they both ran slow, just in different spots. Okay, that guy actually kind of came close to killing me. Oh, seriously? You know what, though? I'm looking in your notes. It says you can beat them in one-shots without bulk up with Rock Slide. Or Return the Swoobat. You know what? I will go Lucky Egg here. Return Swoobat, Rock Slide on Pheasant and Swanna. Oh, I thought she led with on Pheasant. Well then. Amnesia. Yep, exactly. Wait a minute. Why would you say Skyla's here? I guess the flight ended early because that was definitely the lost pilot. She's lost again. I will say though, if this was White 2 though, I probably would have needed an extra 12 levels just to deal with her. Oops. Oh, quick XP. Amnesia Aqua Ring. Yeah, you showed me that AI scenario thing. You said if in Gen 5 with the AI, the move Aqua Ring does get prioritized if the user is below 30% health. So usually, like, if the Swan is on low health, if there's no Aqua Ring set up, she may prioritize it. It's not guaranteed, though, because it gets a +1 modifier. But I'm pretty sure that +1 could get overridden if, like, she detected a knockout, for example. Oh, here's one thing I like about Black and White runs the Black 2 White 2 doesn't cover. HM users are nowhere near as important. But it does kind of get canceled out when you have to remember that I have to have a full party to prevent Reshiram from going in slot 1. Because it kind of defeats the purpose of a solo run if you have Reshiram sent out, if it's avoidable. I mean, in X and Y, you have to do the same thing to not get the Xerneas or Yveltal, but it's a lot easier because of the absurd number of gift Pokemon. Like, in X and Y, in my runs, the only thing I actually need to catch is a fly user. That's literally it. Oops, substitute. Darn it. Embargo. Well, I guess my lucky egg isn't going to work. Hey, boss KO. Oh, and here's another thing. Since we're going to be keeping low kick the whole game because we really do not need the extra damage from Brick Break. Because 140 attack is just that good. Plus, we have more PP. Oh, also, yesterday I was actually playing. I actually started playing TCG Live for the first time in like since 2024 at the very least. Why am I saving? I decided to start playing because the annual set rotation for standard format happened recently, and all the cards from the Sword and Shield era decks are now no longer allowed for standard play, which means all the Lugia V-Star and Regidrago V-Star decks we were playing with are essentially not allowed anymore. So I was trying to see like what other kind of good decks there were. And since the new Destined Rivals set came out, the TCG Live game, oops. They gave players a free Ethan's Ho-Oh deck because Destined Rivals and Journey Together brought back the trainer-owned Pokemon from the old gym leader sets from Gen 1. It gave me an Ethan's Ho-Oh deck, and I was playing around with it. It's an actual decent deck. I made some changes to it, and I won a couple of matches. But, however, though, just because the Sword and Shield cards are now no longer allowed, there are a lot of good decks that are still used. Like, for example, there's a Gardevoir EX deck. There's some decks with Teal Mask Ogerpon. There's also Raging Bolt. Basically, a lot of the decks that were good back then that could rival Regidrago V-Star or Lugia V-Star, they're still allowed because those decks only contain Scarlet and Violet era cards. Those decks are still allowed. Yeah, the Ethan's Ho-Oh deck's actually kind of decent, but Steve showed me this website called Decklist, I think it's called, where you can actually see some of the winning decks from local tournaments, and you could even like copy them into TCG Live and just have the deck themselves. Most of the top decks right now are still the same decks from before, just no Regidrago or Lugia V-Star. On for the Gen 5 set coming up next month. Yeah, I don't like how frequently they're releasing these sets now. Kind of a little overwhelming. But yeah, I am really pumped for it as well. I saw a video from Deep Pocket Monster. He opened some of the Japanese version of the set. I don't know if it's going to be a Japanese exclusive thing with the set, but he was pulling those like illustration rare cards of the Unova Pokemon quite frequently. He was pulling a lot of those. Like one out of every like 3 packs had one. I don't know if those are just pull rates with the Japanese packs, or if when they come out in English, they're going to be that common, because that set is going to have a unique, like, 800 cards across the 2 sets, because they're releasing 2 sets at once. And across the 2 sets, all 156 Unova Pokemon are going to have their own illustration rare cards. And I feel like if you're going to include that many, and that's not even counting like full art EX cards, the regular EX cards, the gold cards. I feel like if they're going to include that many illustration rares, they better make them a little more common than that. Plus, the set's even going to have Pokeball and Master Ball reverse hollows. Like, a master set of that would be close to impossible. But I will say, though, I really want the illustration rare Reshiram, Zekrom, Hydreigon. I really want those. Like, if I don't end up pulling it, I'll probably just buy the card raw. Still waiting for the ZA set. What's the ZA set? Besides the Unova sets that are coming out soon, I don't know what sets are coming out after that, unless it's a TCG Pocket set. I don't really play the card game on TCG Pocket just because it's kind of a narrowed, dumbed-down version of the original game. And besides, you can just play TCG Live on your phone. I just quit playing it for like 6 months or so because of the set rotation that happened. And I don't really... I mainly just played with Lugia V-Star and Regidrago V-Star decks. And I wasn't really in the mood for learning a new deck. But I decided to give it a chance. Mega Evolutions as EXs. Oh yeah, I saw a trailer on that. And I was wondering when those were going to come out. And you know what I noticed? They got the new Megas in the TCG that will come out. They got rid of the old rule when the Megas were in the Gen 6 era sets, X and Y. In the X and Y sets, if you did a Mega Evolution, your turn immediately ended unless you had a tool card, which was that respective Pokemon's Spirit Link. Like, if you attached a Charizard Spirit Link to your Charizard EX, you Mega Evolved it, you wouldn't end your turn. It looks like the new Mega cards got rid of that. So it now kind of works more like a Terra card. I prefer a Yu-Gi-Oh! Over a Pokemon trading card game. I think Steve prefers Magic, because he constantly plays Magic with his boss at work. I haven't heard anything from him recently about Pokemon. I mean, he played a lot of it. Like, he was the one who got me back into the TCG. Because he showed me he was just playing the TCG live game. I think he's not going back into it because those decks got discontinued. But still. That's bad. The cringe mechanics Steve hates. Yeah, he doesn't hate it, it just doesn't exist to him. Kind of like how this generation I'm playing. This generation must have been leaked or something, because this was never released. Mega Evolution's overrated. I absolutely agree with that, yeah. My one problem with it is I thought it was way too overpowered. The fact it would just get completely buffed up stats, change forms, and it stays like that the whole rest of the fight. Like, whenever you, like, face somebody in, like, a competitive battle or something, they mostly use the same Pokemon just to Mega Evolve them. And then they're like, well, yeah, but it takes up an item slot. Does that really matter? I just thought it was too overpowered. And there wasn't really much strategy to using a Mega Pokemon. It just simply becomes stronger. There was strategies to the other ones, though, like with Z moves, it still took up an item slot, but you get access to a one-time, very powerful move. Frostalization lets you change your typing, which can actually help defensively and offensively, like gaining stab multiple times. And Gigantamax, I really did not like Gigantamax, but whenever you use one of those G-Max moves, it can change the battlefield hazards, which can definitely change up a fight. Like, I think there are some G-Max moves that, like, made the weather sunny or created sandstorm. Like, those are strategies. Primal Reversion is sort of like Mega Evolution. I don't think ZA is going to have that, because Primal Reversion was only with Groudon and Kyogre. No other Pokemon had access to Primal Reversion. Gyarados is one exception. I mean, I still like Mega Evolutions. I just think they're broken. That's why in my X and Y playthroughs, if I ever play a Pokemon that gets a Mega Evolution, I will ban it. Even if I could naturally get the Mega Stone. I've heard some people say, like, you should only allow Mega Evolution if you can naturally get the stone. But I don't know. It just feels kind of busted. Or like another example, like if I ever did like Sun and Moon, I'm still on the edge if I actually would ban those crystals, Z crystals. I feel like it would trivialize some fights, but I don't really need to worry about that. I have no plans on that. Bell at Driftville. Rayquaza could get it without holding a Mega Stone. Yeah, that was extremely broken. Yeah, but I'm talking like in the purposes of a solo run. I mean, John Calibro is one of the only ones I know that does solo runs in Sun and Moon. He does allow them, but I'm not sure what I would do if I ever did it. Probably ranked separately. I don't know. I mean, I have thought at some point, like, doing a Mega versus non-Mega run in, like, X and Y or something, but it's gonna have to be one of those where you can get the Mega Stone naturally. Like, for example, Gengarite. Actually, no, Gengarite's not a good example. A lot of the Mega Stones in X and Y are post-game. But, like, maybe you could do Venusaur with the Mega versus Venusaur without, because you could get the Mega Stone right away. But the rule is, it has to hold the Mega Stone the entire time. You don't have to use it every fight, but it has to hold it. Kind of like, I remember when, like, Hidden Gym did Marowak with and without the Thick Club. And without the Thick Club was actually better because not having access to, like, leftovers really hurts it in Crystal. Yeah, I wouldn't do with what I did in, like, Fire Red version, where, like, I backported the Megas and, just banned myself from holding an item, but they stayed for that form the entire game. I still hate the fact I ever did those runs. When I did Giratina Origin in Gen 5, I purposefully gave it the orb at the start. Yeah, but that'd be like a separate thing. And I feel like that's not really the same thing. I feel like it's a little different, because it's not like you can choose whether to change forms or not. It's essentially like an alternate form run. Like, for example, Raticate versus a Alolan Raticate. Because they're still technically the same Raticate. Just the difference is it's a different form. I mean, that's not the best example, but you get what I mean. Do a solo run of totems? Probably not. I remember in Sun and Moon, you could actually catch the totems in the post-game or something. They didn't have, like, the buffed up stats, but they were bigger. They should give an alternate form. It kinda does. It's called Legends Arceus. Because in Legends Arceus, the Adamant Lustrous Orbs do change their forms to Origin Dialga and Origin Palkia. And a lot of people say they look bad, but the reason they look like that is because they're essentially trying to, like, mimic God. Because, like, their forms look like... It looks like a half-assed Arceus attempt. And that's why they don't look as good. I've heard some of their stats get worse when they do that reversion. When they do that. Well, I think them looking stupid was intentional. It was intended to look like a half-assed Arceus. Also, this is going to be my final moveset for the league, although ending Getsus will have a bit of a change-up. We did need a female fourth member of the Weather Trio. It's weird, but I like it. I mean, I don't mind the Pokemon existing. It's literally just more Pokemon. Why would anyone complain about more Pokemon? I've heard in competitive it's really scary. How am I on return PP? I better Rock Slide this. Okay, I better save. I have no idea why Heatran can be either male or female. Even though it's a legendary, I have no idea why they did that. Yeah, it definitely made shiny hunting easier, because if I remember correctly, the regular Pokemon, not the legendaries, but the regular Pokemon in those wormholes had like a 1 in 20 chance of being shiny or something like that. I definitely have a few of those in my Pokemon home. But here's the thing, like, it didn't make shinies less valuable. It only applied to like 20 different species. Want to be around level 60 to 62 at the start of the league. Hey, Axu, does 60 to 62, is that including or not including candies? It says in the notes, use all your rare candies before Chantal. So, do I need to be 62 before candies at the start of the league? Because if so, I'll need to do a little bit of training. I kind of view that as cheating, Dominic, if you're playing on a vanilla console, like trying to get a good team in. I kind of view that as cheating. I do it for solo runs because it's a different way of playing. Hey, paralysis, I get guts boosts. I did not know that thing had Psychic. Yeah, that's true. It is risky using it, but I decided to use it because why not? Alright, you know what? I'm going to get rid of it. Look at this. I still have 0 resets and 0 blackouts. I don't really think I'm playing safe either. This Pokemon is just that good in this game. It's a beast. Oh yeah, that Emboar has leftovers. Charon's the only trainer in this whole game that uses held items. Mienshao still better, has a better moveset. Well, at some point I'll do Mienshao. Oh, I know, I already... Okay. I'm going to save here because I do want to fight these two trainers. Because I'm assuming when it actually says be 60 to 62 at the start, I'm assuming that's before candies. So I'm going to go ahead and fight these two trainers. And then again, I'm already at 60, but may as well just fight this guy too. Because then again, we're going to need speed for Caitlyn. What's the final moveset? Actually, it's our moveset right now. This is the moveset we're going into the league in. But we are gonna change it up a tiny bit for N and Getsus. Like halfway through the league, we're gonna teach Substitute. You can just Lucky Eye for Grimsley and Marshall. Okay. Yeah, we're not using Dynamic Punch, Dominic. This ain't Gen 2. We're not like Chuck. We are not Machamp. Or Chuck. Alright, let's see. Grimsley, free fight. Marshall, free fight. What's our speed? 103. Oops. Do I not have a repel? No, I do. Get this rare candy. Oh yeah, superpower is a bad move. If you use superpower, it lowers your attack and your defense by 1 stage. It is not good. It's kind of like a slightly better version of Overheat. Ghost type Elite Four member you can't touch with your... Technically, 1, we have Rock Slide, and 2, we have the TM for Payback. Payback is going to be our answer for. Hey, I got Toxic Guts. I'm not even going to bother healing that right now because we're not going to be fighting any trainers for the rest of the league, or rest of Victory Road. One thing I do like about the Black and White Victory Road over Black 2, White 2 is that there's far fewer trainers. Like, there's optional trainers if you want to do it, but you don't have to. It's kind of like a better version of Crystal's Victory Road, where there's no trainers, but the problem is if you need to do training before the league, you're going to have to do the routes before. Alright, we're going to start with Grimsley. Okay, yeah, so 118 was kind of a little too generous. But I can definitely get the in-between. It'll probably be, if we first try everything, it'll probably be 118 by the time ends Castles. Before Chantal, teach... Alright, wait. Marshall. Teach Substitute over Return, and then after Marshall, teach Payback over Substitute. Yeah, this Pokemon's an absolute powerhouse. Honestly, this thing is definitely better than Terrakion. Alright, so long Return. Before Chantal, teach Payback over Substitute. Use all of your rare candies. Dude, that thing crit me, and it was still bad. Oh, crap, I didn't see my speed. We should be fine. I had 103 in Victory Road. We want to see more than 109 speed be faster than Chandelure and Sigilyph. We won't need Ents Candy for the final 2 fights. Chantal, 1 bulk up. If you get burned, sweep, otherwise do +2. Rockslide, Kofgrigas, Payback everyone else. Hey, Alexander. This is the gen it was built for. Oh, yeah, literally and figuratively. Okay, so payback in place of substitute. We're not going to need substitute here because we want to try and bait Will-O-Wisp and get guts. 112, okay. I can't see your stats either. Yeah, it's going a little too fast. Plus, my automatic updating overlay is not compatible with, it's not compatible with Gen 5. Oh, that's fine. Axio's note said do not use payback on the Cofagrigus because you'll lose guts, but I never got burned, so it didn't really matter. Alright, Caitlyn time. Equip Black Glasses if under 68, which I am not. If Caitlyn, if Guts is active, payback spam. If you didn't get burned, +1 sweep. At 68, glasses guarantees, Yeah, why do you think for my black and white solo runs, on the overlay you see all the level up moves? It's because the automatic updating overlay is not compatible, so I have to have something here. And instead of the automatic updating stats, I just have the level up set and TM move list. I've seen other people's comment sections, like I think Exceptional was one in one of his older Fire Red runs. Some guy commented like an asshole saying, like, your overlay is absolutely terrible if you have the level up set on there. There is no need to have it. Just have an updating overlay like Scott's. Like, here's the thing. I still understand that. But it's not a big deal having the TM and level up set on the overlay. Because if someone had a question like, hey, can we learn Rain Dance? You can look yourself. In my run, I did get burned and swept Caitlyn with Guts. Don't forget to heal your PP points. It's actually fine, though. I don't need to. Because before you fight N, he does heal your team. So there is no point in healing. Alright, are we changing the moves? Before facing N, equip Shell Bell and teach Substitute over Rock Slide. You do want Shell Bell to outlast N. Teach Substitute over Rock Slide. Fighting in Dark is all the coverage you need. And unlike Chantal, we're going to use Payback on Cofagrigus. Final moveset, Sub, Bulk Up, Low Kick, Payback. I'm going to wait until I save in front of Reshiram to do the moveset changes. Alright, plan for N. 1 bulk up and sweep with low kick, that's really it. He doesn't have a fighting resistance. And yes, low kick on Zekrom is way better than Brick Break. +1 Brick Break isn't a guarantee KO on Zekrom at level 70 with 200 attack EVs. And we outspeed Kling Klang and Vanillix. Plan for Gets sub 2 bulk up sweep. Low kick destroys his whole team after Cofagrigus. What about Seismitoad? Low kick. Yeah, this is why Axio said do not unlearn low kick at all, because Brick Break in the late game for the N and Getsus fight is actually worse than low kick. Doesn't Seismitoad has Poison Touch? No, it does not. Seismitoad has never had Poison Touch. Alright, Substitute in the place of Rock Slide. And, Shell Bell. Yeah, this is the fight where we're like to get a reset, because we do not outspeed a bunch of his team. According to Axio's notes, we're only going to outspeed Kling Klang and Vanillix. Question, though. If we get a reset, or if we lose to N, should we take the blackout so we don't have to fight Reshiram, or just reset and continue? I mean, I think the odds of winning are still good, but I think we just reset. Bulk up. Interesting, it went for Zen Headbutt. That's fine, though. It's a good thing Zekrum's a physical attacker. Zoroark. Focus Blast. Oh, no. Okay, that actually kind of hurt. Yeah, I can see why Shell Bell is necessary. Wait. Hey, actually, you never mentioned we outspeed Caracosta. Honestly, I was definitely a bit higher of a level than really necessary. But then again, if I was level 70, then Acrobatics would have done a lot more damage. So I think going out of the way for a few extra rare candies was definitely necessary. To be fair, it's pretty slow. I mean, that's true, but if you were going to put down, hey, you outspeed these two, you may as well put all of them. But that's fine, though. It's not a big deal. I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me. Yeah, N and Getsus are very difficult, even if you're overleveled. Last Pokemon. 123.50. Darn it, I was 2 minutes over. Yeah, I definitely overestimated this Pokemon. Honestly, I think the one thing that truly held this thing back is only normal type moves in the early game. Plus, I have to use Bulk Up on a lot of fights. Honestly, I think it was... Okay, so yeah, 123.50. I think the fact it had all normal types at the start was not the best. If this thing started with, like, low kick at level 1, I think it would have been a lot better. Because, honestly, I don't really know if it would have mattered, though. I just think the thing that truly held this back was the number of times I had to set up. Because obviously when you set up, it's always slower. Plus, low kick on light opponents isn't really the best. But still, it did really good. I mean, Guts never really came in handy at all. I will say, though, if this was the Gen 1 low kick, it actually would get the sheer force ability. Because in Gen 1 and Gen 2, low kick had a flinch chance. Yeah, we don't have to set up much either. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why this thing kind of played slow. Honestly, I think it was entirely the early... Honestly, I seriously don't know. I think it's just the fact it has to rely on lower-ish power moves, like low kick and rock slide. I mean, it got to use return for a bunch of fights. Plus, oh yeah, I did do the training in the Celestic Tower for Skyla. Or I meant the Lost Pilot, sorry. That definitely added to its time, but I don't know. I thought this thing would have done better. I really don't understand. Alright, let's go ahead and put this forward. Let's see, we were level... I gotta stop putting the controller down before I find out what the game time is. 4:33. Missed it. Yep, just barely. 4:33, level 73. Alright, level 73. 0 resets, 0 blackouts. Really impressive. Honestly, I think another thing that was held us back, I may have done a little bit too much training. Like, I did play a little safe. I probably could have skipped a few candies. But oh well. Honestly, yeah. I think it was just the fact we started off with low power moves. Okay. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. This thing did 2 minutes worse than Terrakion, and Terrakion had 8 resets, so when I thought it would do better, that ended up not coming to fruition. I think the reason Terrakion did so much better was because it had double kick at level 7. And double kick with the same type attack bonus and the fact it always hits twice is essentially a 90 power fighting move. Like, I think Conkeldurr could only have matched it if it started with level 1 Brick Break. The fact it had a very powerful fighting move that early on, with double kick, you really did not need to set up that much. Plus, I think this thing got Rock Slide at like level 20. So its level up moveset was definitely a lot better. Gyarados would Moxie work? I'm assuming you're saying, would Gyarados with Moxie work? I could use Gyarados with Moxie. In fact, I have played a Moxie Pokemon. It was, I think it was in White too. What did I play that had Moxie? It was Mightyena and Oras. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, it's my highest ranked Pokemon. But then again, Mawile and Sableye could really use re-ranks. Those were very old runs. Seviper was also performed kind of badly. Omanyte and Doduo, I felt like I played them good enough. Because, here's the thing. They are first stage Pokemon. Like, they blacked out to a lot of random trainers. And I feel like in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, it's kind of expected you'll occasionally black out to random trainers, especially if you're a first stage. So I'm gonna let those results slide, but Seviper, Mawile, and Sableye really could. I'm not gonna say Mightyena because that was one of my newer runs. Could Aegislash be good? I don't know. Maybe. But anyway. Thank you all for stopping by, everyone. I do appreciate it. The next stream will be tomorrow. Ike the Killer and Steve M Plays will join us. We'll be doing Pokemon Crystal with Incineroar. I will see you all then. Bye.